This is a demonstration of Upstride's lead generation system and cold email campaign creation tools. I'll talk you through how to find leads and then how to create emails and what's going on in the background. So the first thing we need to do is add leads. We can do this two ways. We can either do this through a multiple search, i.e. we want job titles. So we say we want managing directors. And again, you can do multiple job search, just comma separate. Location specific, obviously the narrower the location, the fewer results. Broad location, more results. So for our purpose, we're going to go with Warsaw. And then you can pick company size 1 to 10, 11 to 50. So we'll go 1 to 10. You can select your industries. We'll select automotive, and you can select keywords within those industries. Again, if you want to be very, very broad and untargeted, you can just put in job titles and locations. You don't need to worry about company size, industries, or keywords. These are just very much ways of niching down and targeting on prospects. Once you're happy with your selection criteria, press submit. This will now go away and carry out a research and return all the results. The other way you can create a lead, if you have the contact information, you can just enter it all in here and click add lead, and that will add it to the database. Our request for leads, any that are found are returned to this lead database. As we were fairly targeted, what we're looking for, there were only 8 leads that met that exact criteria. And what this returns to us is first name, last name, email address, phone number if there is one, location, industry, company name, job title, seniority, which can sometimes be a bit hit and miss, website URL, and LinkedIn profile. Equally, it's important if you make a note of these numbers down the side, they will become more important later on. Great, now we've got our leads, we need to launch a campaign. So how do we do that? So we go to our create campaign, and we're going to be doing this in a way which enables us to tailor this to our business as a whole, to a certain product line we want to target, a service we want to target. We might have advantages for different products to different target markets, and we might just want to target them specifically. So this allows us to be as broad or as focused as we want, because we have complete customization how we set this up. So the first thing we do is we create a campaign name. So for this, we'll call this test 4, and we'll say we'll take in leads number 1 to number 20. Company name, already populated, taken from up there, so you don't need to do this. Now what we need to do is we need to add the information about our company, our product, our positions. This is where it allows us to be very, very specific, niche down into single product lines if that's what we're targeting, or overall business information if we're just going out and selling the concept of the organization, not a specific product. So we just populate this information in. And if, for example, these things are never going to change, we can just lock these in so they stay there. So every time you then launch a campaign, you don't need to do this, it's just locked in. But equally, if you want to customize it, you can. It might be the fact that your target market might be shifting over time and you might be doing an overseas market. And then this is where it gets quite powerful, because we now can go down to individual product lines or services. Oh, put the wrong one in there. Again, so I'm doing this as a consultancy service, and that's what I'm going to be running the campaign on. So I'm just populating all these fields with the information I want to make sure that when the system is doing its analysis of the prospect against my value propositions, my solutions to pain points, it's understanding what it can say and how it can align itself. So we pop those bits in there, and we then look at campaign strategy. This is where we're effectively going, great, we're going to target estate agents, and we then basically go, okay, what are the most important things when we're looking at our matching exercise do we want to put on? So we're going to put on LinkedIn, any product service launches they've recently rolled out, any professional organizations, new market entrants, any company milestones, any recent awards. And this is what the system's going to be looking at. Because it's going to be doing a whole load of research in the background, it's going to be prioritizing these things to look for familiarity points and connection points. And you can play around with these and put in as many or as few as you like. And then our industry-specific triggers. And then our operational focus areas. So that's now made this customized to Upstride and the service I'm looking to offer. If you are a cleaning company, a website design company, whatever it may be, you can now fully customize this to your business, your products, your target market, and how you want to approach them. Great. So that information's gone in. Next thing about is the language of the campaign we're going to create ourselves. Now, A/B testing in this environment is really, really important because different industries and different services like to be approached in different ways. And the best way of doing this is by effectively changing the language type that we use. So this doesn't change the factual content of the email. What it does is it changes how it is presented. So we'll go with professional warm as our default, so semi-formal language with personal touches, or we can go aggressive sales, bold claims with urgency, direct challenges to status quo, educational and helpful, teaching approach, or if something's not covered there and we want to try a completely different approach, we can go custom and you just type in the custom approach and that allows you to create the campaign. So we're going to go with aggressive sales and we create the campaign here. Now that's done that, it's taken those 8 leads and that's going away now and creating all of the email content based on the input we've just given it. Great, so now we've created our campaign. What's actually happening in the background and what's going on with all the information we have and why is it important we get these LinkedIn URLs and company websites when we're returning our lead data? Well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go away and we're going to look at the last 120 days of activity from that prospect on LinkedIn. We're going to look at their profile, we're going to look at their bio, their work history, any comments they've left, any posts they've made, and we're going to build up a personal profile on that individual, which allows us to then use that for personalization within the email campaign. The next thing I do is I go away for Upstride and we look at the last 75 reviews on Trustpilot. This enables us to identify things that customers may be saying that the businesses aren't necessarily sharing with us or you might not even be aware of. So something that could be useful would be something around, I don't know, great product, but lead times are a little bit long. That could imply to us that there is a processing delay within the system. There could be inventory outages or delays in supply chain, or some of the processes to deliver a service aren't working as effective as they could be, and your customer base is, or their customer base is noticing that. What that then allows us to do is when we're doing our analysis and looking for pain points and solutions, we can go, okay, great, we understand that. Here's our solution, which enables us to then offer you a way of fixing that and increasing your customer satisfaction. So that's what I do. Important note at this point is if there are other bits of data and other analysis things that you want doing, that's all perfectly achievable. We just need to understand what it is and we can then go away and build those ways of getting that data to do the analysis from. The last part I do is I do a deep research on the customer's organization. It's a detailed business operations and service review. It looks at recent news, accomplishments, and any developments. It looks at the leadership team and the key personnel that make up that organization. It looks at any operational challenges that might be out there, its market position, its competitors, and any growth initiatives and pain points. and we prioritize the most recent information when we're looking at doing our analysis and looking for our connection points. Now we've got those 3 reports. We've got the personal, we've got the customers, and we've got the business. This is where that piece of work we did earlier comes in critical when we were talking about what's our business, what's our product, what's our solutions to pain points. This is where that all comes in critical. Now, what we're doing is we've got AI is now looking at that piece of work we submitted earlier when we set the campaign up against those 3 reports, and it's going to create hyper-personalized email campaigns that address specific pain points that it's identified through that analysis with our product or service offerings that we've put into the system at the very beginning of setting that campaign up. And why this is so powerful and so flexible, it allows us to do that at organizational level or product level. And that gives you complete flexibility over how you run and target your campaigns. All right, now we've done all our research and the system has gone away and it's done the analysis, looked at the products we're selling, the services we're selling, got all the customer information and did the analysis to create the emails. It populates our email database. And as you scroll across here, you'll see the body of the emails 1 to 5 with a corresponding subject. And if we just pop here, so remember we created this campaign as aggressive sales. So what does that mean when we look at the language of the email? Let's have a quick look at this one. As you'll see, hi Gemma, you've been Wellbeing Residential Limited into a high trust care provider, but let me ask you one thing, why is your team still buried under admin work that could be automated? Right now, AI is helping care providers slash operational inefficiency by up to 50% without cutting staff or sacrificing quality. That means faster, more accurate scheduling across homes, streamlined family communications, and documentation. So as you can see, it's going straight for the sale. It's being very direct in the language it's using. Again, so this is a different one. Hi Sarah, let me be direct. Every hour you spend on admin at SPL Fit Coaching is hours that should be building your client base and optimizing results for athletes. So again, because we've gone aggressive sales, this is very much the way that the campaign has been worded. And as I said earlier, A/B testing is quite important because some people won't respond to that, whereas other industries will. So we've done a quick check on our emails. We're happy that that's what we wanted. And we go to launch campaign. So now we're going to launch our campaign. As we did earlier, we set up a campaign, so we gave it a name. So we set the campaigns. If you've created more than one campaign, they're showing here up until the point that you launched them. You select the date you want that to go live and click launch campaign. As simple as that. That campaign will now get loaded into the sender and that'll then click away sending those emails. So now we've got our campaign launched. It's been running for a while. We've sent some of the emails. The sequences are plowing through. We want to understand how it's gone because we're doing our A/B testing. So we want to see what our open rates are and what our reply rates are. So if we click on our performance monitoring, this takes us through to all our campaigns that we've created. And then we can see from this one, we've sent 440 emails. We've got 129 open and 6 replies. If we click on the opens, that tells us all the ones that have been opened. And replies we'll have dealt with already. So we then click on performance. That gives us a more detailed breakdown. And then we can also start seeing a sequential breakdown within how each email set is performing. We can go here and look at lead details and just email activity.